Hey guys, today we're trying a bunch of new luxury makeup that I have in. I got a beautiful package from Sisley. They have just come out with a brand new shade of their Blur Expert Powder. So originally they had shade number 1, which was a little deep for my skin tone. And now they've come out with shade 0, which seems perfect. So we're gonna be playing around with that. They've also come out with 2 new Photo Rouge Shine lipsticks. They've also come out with 2 new shades of their Photo Eye Twist and a new shade of their Photo Kohl Star waterproof eyeliner. So we'll be trying all of that. We'll also be trying the brand new Surratt bronzers. Very, very excited for these. As you guys know, I love a good Surratt I'm gonna just say powder, but their powders are so exquisite and so unique that they don't really behave like powders. Anyway, we'll get into that. And then I do have all of the Afterglow liquid blushes from NARS. So it's these guys, really beautiful packaging. They have a doe foot applicator. They sent over all 6 shades. So we'll do some swatches. I'll put maybe 1 or 2 on my cheeks, we'll see. So that's it, let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm gonna start with the Blur Expert Powder. So when they originally first came out with this powder, I went out and I purchased shade number 1. Like I was saying, that was the only shade that they had. It was a little bit deep. I wish I still had it, but I've since decluttered it because it was just so old. So anyway, it's deeper than this one. Let me actually just show you what the powder looks like first. So here is shade 0, and it is a baked powder. And I was like, okay, great. It's a perfecting smoothing powder is how it's marketed. So, you know, put on my primer, I put on my foundation, and I went ahead and I applied this powder. And I was like, I don't get it. I tried it a number of different ways, I remember. And Sisley actually reached out to me when I did that video, and they said, please try it before your foundation. And I was like, powder before my foundation. Now, this wasn't the first time I had heard of that particular order in which to apply your makeup. I think Jackie Ina did a whole video. I think there was like a trend going on about applying powder before your foundation. People were like, oh, what do you mean? And she did this amazing video and she demonstrated. It looked beautiful, of course. And I was like, okay, let's give this a shot. So it worked. It worked beautifully. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, which is why we're starting with this powder. The trick with this powder, because it is baked, you can see it's not like a pressed powder. It's almost like, looks like a piece of clay sitting in there. You really need a dense brush to be able to pick up product. So I've got my trusty Sonia G Buffer Pro brush. This is actually one of her originals when it was still called Face One. And the handle is thicker, it doesn't like taper down. Anyway, this is basically her Buffer Pro. As you guys know, this is one of my favorite brushes to use with baked products, products that really need to be buffed in, products that, you know, sometimes you have a hard time picking up. I definitely recommend a brush like this. And what I'm gonna do is kind of jab my brush in there, not too hard. That was a little exaggerated. And I'm gonna just in circular motions pick up the powder this way. And there you can see that I have a little bit of powder, and you can see how dense this powder is. There's like no kick up. Doesn't look like I even touched the pan. So that's what we're dealing with basically. So once I have a nice kind of coating of this powder on my brush, what I'd like to do is press it in. Because this is a blurring and perfecting powder, what I like to do is really target the areas that I need that, which would be this whole area where I have larger pores. I feel like, you know, when I put foundation on, sometimes those pores don't look so smooth, those pores become accentuated. So what I'm gonna do is just press the powder in there. And this powder, it does remind me a little bit of the Chantecaille powder, but the Chantecaille powder I do like over foundation. I don't necessarily like it under foundation because I have tried it because of this. This one, for some reason, just works really, really well under foundation for some reason. So anyway, looks are very deceiving because they do appear very similarly. They do the same things, but yeah, this one I like under, that one I like over. So I think you can probably see how light this powder does appear on my skin. I'm gonna keep applying it, kind of focusing it again in that area, kind of on my nose. And then I'm just gonna lightly kind of dust it all over. Okay, wow, I look a little ghostly, but we are gonna be putting foundation on over this. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Sisley Cushion Foundation. This is the Phyto Blanc Le Cushion, and I have it in the shade 0C Vanilla. I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 101 brush. I'm just gonna dab it in here and just kind of spread out what I picked up. And now I'm just gonna glide over that powder. And this powder is just so interesting. I feel like whenever I'm putting a cream product over a powder product or vice versa, I feel like I have to be very careful. I have to pounce. I don't want to disturb it too much. Sometimes things start to ball up. Sometimes I feel like I'm wiping away whatever's underneath. But this powder, I feel like it really works well if I am actually swiping the foundation on over it. It doesn't have to be a Sisley foundation. Any foundation I've used over this Blur Expert powder has looked so smooth. It really just is it's such a great primer. It really, really is. It's such a great primer. And as you guys probably noticed, there was like a little bit of pigmentation. You could see it. So there's actually a little bit of coverage. So it's almost like putting on a little bit of concealer, or just like evening out your skin tone, I should say. You're kind of like evening out your skin tone a little bit before you're putting your foundation down. And it just works like magic. It's so amazing. So anyway, I am so excited that Sisley has come out with a lighter shade. The deeper shade, the original shade, shade number 1, that could work for me during the summertime. I still felt like it was a little bit deep, a little bit warm for my skin tone. So this one is perfect, absolutely perfect. I'm so glad they came out with this. But let me just finish applying this foundation. This foundation is really wonderful on its own, but I do just want to show you, especially in this area, how almost glass-like my skin looks. Like, look at how smooth that is, and that is the Blur Expert powder. I highly recommend trying this powder underneath your foundation. That's how it works best for me. Okay, so moving on, I am gonna put on a little bit of concealer because I don't have any new concealer. I'm just gonna use the Sisley Stilo Lumiere in the shade number 1. And this almost isn't even a concealer. It's like that YSL, why can't I think of the name? Wow. It's like that kind of pen. It's very light in its concealing properties. It's a little bit more of like a brightening tool, but there is a little bit of coverage there, but I do like the brightening effect it gives my under eyes. YSL Touche Éclat, that's what it's called. Sorry. Wow. Skin is looking smooth. 2 syllables. Smooth. This foundation is a little bit tacky, so should we try this powder over my foundation? May as well, just so I can show you. So when I do use this powder over foundation, which again, it's not my favorite. I have powders for over my foundation that I prefer more than this one, but you can use this if you only want to take out like one powder. But I am going to use the same brush because this is a brush that really picks up the product well. And just going to pick up a little bit here, and I am just going to pounce. I don't want to swipe over the foundation. Okay, so I've set down my makeup, and oh, I have like a little hair there. And so it does the job of a powder. I just don't think it does anything more for my skin than, like I said, some other powders that I love using to set down my makeup. So anyway, moving on, let's try these Surratt bronzers. So they sent over 2 shades. They sent over Soleil Clair and Soleil Deux. I think that's how you pronounce it. So here is Soleil Clair, and here is a swatch of that one. Oh, I really like this one. These, by the way, are 0.3 ounces, and they're made in Japan. And then here is Soleil Deux, and this one actually looks to be a little bit lighter than Soleil Clair. I thought, oh yeah, it is a little bit lighter. There's a little bit more of a yellow tone to this one. And then the Soleil Clair, actually, let me hold them up next to each other. Okay, so this one is Soleil Deux, and this one is Soleil Clair. So the Soleil Clair has like a little bit more red to it. You can probably see that. And the Soleil Clair has a little bit more of like a yellow undertone. But they don't necessarily look like one is that much deeper than the other. I would say the Soleil Deux is lighter if I had to choose. but I think I'm gonna use Soleil Clair because, as you guys know, I love like a red undertone to my bronzers, especially in the summertime. Oh, and while I'm digging out a brush and cleaning it off, I do wanna mention, so I'm wearing some Dean Davidson jewelry. I have these pearl, I think they're called like signet drops, these earrings. I have this pearl necklace on. And you guys know how much I love all of my Dean Davidson pieces. So they have been so kind and so generous in giving me a 25% off coupon for you guys. But they're ending that at the end of this month. So I just wanted to mention that, and they told me that, you know, I could let you guys know so that if you wanted to take advantage of the 25% off, you have until the end of the month to do so. So I wanted to mention that because after the end of the month, or starting July 1st, you'll get a one-time use only code for 15% off. Still very generous, but a change from the deal that we have going on now. So 25% off with the code Michele25 at Dean Davidson. You guys have seen me wear their pieces like over and over again. The Dune Huggies, the Soul Huggy Hoops, the Soul Drop earrings, the initial necklace. Like I wear so much of their pieces. So anyway, if you want to take advantage of the 25% off, you have until the end of the month to do so. All right, so I've got, yes, Soleil Clair, and I've got my Sonia G Niji Pro brush. Now, what I wanted to tell you about Surratt powders, and you've heard me mention this before, that their artistic, well, now the bronzer and the artistic blushes and the artistic eyeshadows, they use this slurry technology where they're a baked product, but they started out like as this like liquid form, and they're just sort of baked down. So they have this very interesting hybrid quality to them where they are, you know, a powder. When you pick them up, you're gonna see like a little powder residue, but they have the application, or, you know, they sometimes behave like a liquid and a cream. And I just love the application of these artistic powders. So anyway, I picked up some of the bronzer. I'm just gonna focus it under my cheekbone, around my temple. Wow, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous tone. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Kind of reminds me of the Jones Road gel bronzer, but of course in powder form, but it has that red undertone, which is so beautiful. So here it is applied. I just applied it to this half of my face, and I have no bronzer on this side. So no bronzer, bronzer. Beautiful. And let me just apologize for the leaf blowers if you can hear them. Of course, as soon as I sit down to film, there's a leaf blower, I think like literally right next door, right there. So sorry if you can hear that humming in the background. All right, so those are the Surratt bronzers. So pretty, so beautiful. Of course, I am not surprised in the least bit. Okay, let's move on to these NARS Afterglow liquid blushes. So again, I have 6 shades, and here's some swatches of all 6 shades. So from left to right, we have Orgasm, Brazen, Behave, Dolce Vita, Wanderlust, and Insatiable. So Wanderlust, the lilac one, is so interesting to me, but I don't think it's a very cool tone shade, and I don't think that's what I'm going for, especially when I look at the shades that Sisley has come out with. They're a little bit warmer, and we're gonna be using their lips and their eyes. So I think I'm gonna go for Brazen, which is probably the warmest shade in there. That's the one that looks orangey peach. It was the second swatch in. So let me just show you the packaging because it is so beautiful. And it is a doe foot applicator. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dab it onto my cheek, and then I'm gonna take a brush and blend it in. I'm gonna try it that way first. So dab, dab, dab. And I've got my Sonia G classic base brush here. And just gonna pounce it in. Pretty color. That's nice. That's nice. I picked good. Ooh, I love that. Wow, that blended out nicely. Okay, let's apply to the other side and then go back and see if it sets down anymore. So I'm gonna do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. I really like the brush pouncing technique, so I'm gonna stick with that. Ooh, doesn't that just blend out beautifully? And quickly too. That is really lovely. And sometimes, you know, when I use a cream or a liquid blush, sometimes like my skin eats it up. I know you guys have experienced this too. It's just like, I don't know, sometimes it just disappears, it evaporates, or yeah, it just sort of gets absorbed. I don't know what happens to it. And usually I can see it start to happen already. By the time I'm done with the other cheek, I'll go back to the original cheek and be like, didn't I put blush on there? But I see the blush still here. So that's a very good sign for this Afterglow blush. Ooh, that is pretty. And that was very easy to apply. Afterglow liquid blush. Yeah, it doesn't seem especially tacky or wet feeling, but it doesn't feel like it's like matted down or anything. Another amazing like cream slash liquid blush to come out this summer. I feel like this is the summer of cream liquid blushes. All right, well, that is very exciting. I don't have any new highlighter, which I think is okay. I don't think I need to apply any highlighter. I don't have any new brows, so I'm just gonna use my Persona Swipe Up brow gel. All right, and now let's try these Phyto eye twists from Sisley. So they sent over their 2 new shades for summertime, which are 18 and 19. So here are swatches of both. So 19 is on top. It's a little bit more coppery looking. 18 is on the bottom, which is like a warm gold, or gold with like a little bit of peach in there. Very, very pretty. They both have a little bit of shimmer to them. All right, so I'll use 18 kind of closer to the inner corner of my eye and 19 on the outer portion of my eye. So I'm gonna start with 18. Ooh, that's so pretty. These do set down quite a bit, so I would work quickly. Wow, that's gorgeous. Oh, I love that. That is perfect one and done. But I do want to show you what both shades look like. So let me go ahead and apply 19, which is a little deeper. I wonder if you can see that. It has a little bit more like copper in there. But I feel like on my eye, it's looking a little bit more of like a deeper rose gold. Ooh, that's a very pleasant surprise. You know, I think we've seen a lot of warm copper toned eyes the past few years. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, gonna do the same thing over here. I love these pencils, just so easy to use. And they blend out like a dream, right? Just a little dab of my finger and done. Now I'm gonna use 19 again. The outer corner. Blend that out. Voila. Wow, that was like the fastest eye makeup look I've done in a while. Gorgeous. Oh, and so perfect for summertime. My lids look sun-kissed. Beautiful. All right, so I'm applying the new Sisley Phyto. Can you guys hear that? That leaf blower is so loud. It sounds like, literally sounds like he's blowing it right outside the window. Okay, these Phyto Kohl Star waterproof eyeliners from Sisley are great. They don't smudge. I mean, they truly are waterproof, and I don't find them that difficult to remove at night. I do use my Kogendo cleansing spa water, and this does a trick. I don't feel like I need to go in with like one of those biphasal oil ones. Anyway, I will say though, so this is in the shade Mystic Gold, and as far as I know, I think there's like 2 different types of shades. So the Mystic ones are like a metallic sort of sheen, really beautiful. And then they have sparkling ones, which have like a little bit of micro glitter in there. You can even apply them and then kind of burnish them out and like the glitter comes out. Those actually bother my eyes a little bit because those micro glitters are a little bit on the chunkier side. So I really, really love their Mystic colors. And you'll see it if you go to the Sisley site or any retailer that sells them, you'll see all the color names. And sparkling has the glitters, and then the Mystic ones are just ones that are a little bit metallic. So this is a Mystic one, which I'm very happy about. I really love this color. It's Mystic Gold, but it's a very kind of antique gold. There's like a little bit of green in there. So it's like a khaki gold, and I love it. It's gorgeous. It's not too yellow and not too pale. So it's just a great like eyeliner color. Beautiful. Sisley really knocked it out of the park with this these summer colors. These are so great. Okay, I don't have any new mascara, so I'm just gonna curl my lashes and then apply the Lancome Lash Idole Waterproof, which you guys know is one of my favorites. All right, and now let's try the new Fito Rouge Shine shades. So they sent over 2 of them. This one is number 24, Sheer Peony, and they describe it as a vibrant raspberry pink. And then the other one, number 32, is Sheer Ginger, a sunny, flattering coral. I really love Sheer Ginger. So I'm gonna start with Sheer Peony so I can end with Sheer Ginger. But let's go ahead and do a lip swatch. Oh, interesting. So this, I would not describe, yeah, they call it raspberry. I would not describe this as a raspberry color. Raspberry to me has a little bit of blue in there, kind of giving it a little bit of a purple. This I think is more like a strawberry versus a raspberry. Talk about nitpicky. But yeah, I would describe this more as a strawberry than a raspberry. But there is Sheer Peony. All right, and now, nope, that's Sheer Peony. We have Sheer Ginger, and this is definitely more of a coral. I love this formula. It is so comfortable. Very similar to the Chantecaille lip veils. And these are actually refillable from Sisley, just FYI. All right, there is Sheer Coral. I really like everything. I am really having good luck with new makeup these days. That Jones Road try on, when I tried on the gel bronzer, like that was such a good day. This is such a good day. I love this look. I love the Sisley eyes, the NARS cheek, the Sisley lips, that blur powder. It just makes your skin so extra smooth. Really is just gorgeous. Wow. Okay, well, that is it for this trying new makeup video. Don't forget, if you want to get 25% off Dean Davidson, you have until the end of the month to use my code Michele25. I'll leave links down below in my description box, and I'll leave links to everything that I tried on today down below in my description box. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.